This episode is for Friday, February 5th, 2016. Welcome, Crater fans. I'm your host, Josh Owens.
And I'm the sidekick, Ben Strahan.
What's up, sidekick?
What's up, Batman? What are we doing today?
Talking about asteroids.
Right on. I'm wearing I'm the Sad King.
Nice. Yeah. So if you're not watching YouTube version of the podcast, then that sucks for you. You have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Speaking of, if you do watch the YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. If you listen to the podcast, or even if you don't listen to it, you watch it on YouTube, you should go leave us a review. Like, we like reviews.
I don't know about YouTube reviews.
No, not YouTube, on iTunes. Sorry.
Yeah, seriously. Like, if you're part of YouTube, we don't want your review.
That's not true.
I don't really care what you think.
I welcome all comments on YouTube. I just ignore most of them.
I love YouTube, man. Like Paul from OK Grow, the founder of OK Grow, the guy I work for, he put up a React tutorial at a meetup that he was talking at. Uh-huh. And some dude was like, hey, yo, and talking to Paul, like a senior developer, he's like, hey, you shouldn't have a white background for your text editor. You should make it black. Like, that's just common sense. I was like, man, YouTube commenters have some big, you know what?
Bike shedders. We'll just call them bike shedders.
Anywho.
Nice video, bro. Change your background color.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sure. Whatever you say, random YouTube guy. All right. So this week we're going to talk about, but does meteor scale? No, just kidding. Introducing a better mantra. Meteor data with 1.3 in React, and why React doesn't have templates, or why doesn't React have templates, or I don't know. We're going to dive into that. So,
totally.
Should be interesting.
It should be interesting.
So I tried an experiment this week, actually. Rather than me just cherry picking the interesting topics, I just took the top voted topics. And since we're only doing 4, and I put them in the order that they were most interesting, most voted for on the site.
Really? So your article,
had 20 votes this week.
It's at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a great. Actually, I really liked it. I really enjoyed.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a. I don't know. It was interesting.
It's perfect. Like, I don't know. Before we dive into this, one thing. Yo, congratulations. This is show number 90.
Indeed. I noticed
90.
that we started in January of 2014. So January 10th. So January 10th, 2016 was our 2-year mark. Like, I've been at this.
Wow. You're legitly Batman, because Batman had multiple Robins, and I think I'm the third Robin.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm the third Robin.
I guess Dean was kind of in there. I don't know.
And Rye?
Yeah, Rye. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rye was the original Robin. That's right. So that's why I wore red today.
Nice.
So, does Meteor scale? Answer is yes.
The answer is no. It doesn't scale at all. No, you know what the answer is, and this is, I wrote this because I get this question like every time, man. We do like a Q&A or something, and someone's like, well, but can I get it to scale to the 1 million users I'm going to need?
Yes.
Like, how do I get Meteor to scale to 1 million users?
In 6 months, we're projecting 1 million concurrent users.
Like,
and we only have $15 a month to budget for our server.
Like, we got to keep the cost down.
Yeah.
Spending it all on our offshore developer. No, I'm just kidding. Like, that's terrible.
But that's literally like, you could almost judge the people who ask the question, because you're like, like your article said, like, hey, it depends. And someone with experience would understand that immediately.
Yeah.
So you're kind of showing your inexperience when you ask a question like that. And it's the same thing like when you have like new front end or new graphic designers that are or old graphic designers getting into front end for the first time, they usually Google what's better, Angular or React, or they Google like something generic like that. Yeah. And something and that one of my blog articles is Meteor versus Angular is like the most popular blog article I have. Yeah. And it's a garbage comparison.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my rant. Okay. Let's talk about your article.
So the problem I have is that scaling means different things, right? Like a lot of people can mean a slightly different thing when they say it. A lot of people, I think the question is like, how many concurrent users can I handle? And the answer is, we don't get automatic publications. Like auto-publish ain't a thing that you do in an actual app, because like you need to be able to optimize for the individual thing you need to do, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's no good way to handle, like another good question I get is offline data. Like how do I handle offline data and like the conflict when the syncing happens? And it's like, well, that's individual to your app, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's going to be different. Like the way you implement that is probably going to be slightly different than say Uber is going to implement that kind of feature. So I don't know. I think we can all go, oh, Elixir, they can scale out and they can handle, I saw Phoenix can do 2 million connections, and it's like, like I can probably go write some mindless, pointless thing that says we can handle, thousands upon thousands of connections coming into like a hello world publication that just says, literally just returns hello world, right? Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't even hit the database. It doesn't do anything. Like, that interesting? Like we're just testing that WebSocket with Node scales to a certain point. Like, I don't know. Not interesting. So,
real interesting things that you said in the article was it really depends on your idea. Like the whole thing is like, do you have an idea that scales, that grows? Can you get to users? That's the thing, that you need to have a good business model. You need to iterate and provide the users what they want really quick. Right. That's the main thing for scaling.
I think for me, like a lot of these questions are coming from technical people, and like or slightly technical people that are building apps, and they want to know like, am I going to run into trouble scaling? Well, at the end of the day, like your number one concern shouldn't be scaling. Like if you're doing a good job and you get a huge influx of people and they're willing to pay you money, like you're just going to go the route of like throwing money at the problem, right? Mm-hmm. And a reference, you and I talked to Classcraft on that Meteor Club podcast.
Yeah. And then they did a great job at Meteor Night.
Oh yeah.
Talking about scaling.
I haven't watched that, but I mean,
okay.
I'm sure it covers a lot of what we already talked to them about.
It did.
Yeah. But the thing is, at the end of the day, like they did the most ridiculous thing that I think any DevOps person would hear, and they went to like a 60 core machine and they were running 2 processes per core, and they're like, we're scaling, right?
Yeah.
And that's
throw money at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got to do.
Yeah.
I know a couple other startups and that got some momentum behind them, and that's just what you do. You just throw money at it because really you might like test your code virtually to see if it can scale and all stuff. But when it really happens, there's always going to be something that crops up. So you just like throw money at it, and that's just what you do. And then you work around it.
Yeah, because you're trying to convince people that your product is valuable enough to spend their hard-earned dollars on something. And, like you're only going to do that through creating features and, creating that interest and engagement with a user, not by like, having the fastest server ever. Like I can tell you, I did some work with a company that was purchased by GoDaddy, and they were, when I got hired on, they were paying like well over $1 per user for their hosting setup. And like they had nightly jobs that were running and they wouldn't even finish. Like they were syncing 100,000 bank accounts. And it wouldn't finish in a 24-hour period. And I got put on a team, and our job was to make it faster. And we got it to the point where we were running through the job queue in less than 12 hours. So we were running the sync twice a day. And, we got that cost down to like 45 cents a user or something. But, that's something that happened after GoDaddy bought the startup, not before.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you're a smart developer, like you're going to have all the features validated before you really put a lot of effort into coding something that's very robust.
Maybe, but I mean, that's saying that you're maybe good at figuring out the feature set, or I don't know. Like validation's a very hard thing to do as well, and chances are you're going to pick the wrong things, and you're going to start talking to people, and they're going to.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you choose the wrong things, like this prevents you from dumping a bunch of time into choosing the wrong thing, which you're going to. So like off the bat, the question is, oh, I really think I'm going to have like, I'm guessing this many users in 12 months. Should I start using cluster right off the bat? Should I break everything up?
No, stop.
No,
Like
exactly.
walk away. Don't just go set up Modulus. Go set up Heroku. Go set up Galaxy. You know, obviously, like I'm somewhat biased. I won't pull a Hillary Clinton here and say that because Modulus gives me money, you know, it doesn't affect me. It does probably to some degree, right?
Oh, Josh and his super PAC.
My Modulus super PAC, yeah, totally. I mean, you know, but don't spend time on, you know, tinkering with your setup. Like
Seriously.
That's a passion project of mine. And so like when the next post comes out and I talk about how I've got Crater set up, like that's to me, like I find that stuff super interesting. I did a podcast for almost 2 years, a video podcast called Web Pulp TV. You know, I loved exploring how people were scaling out the back end of their systems. You know, I talked to the guy that was like working at Netflix. It was amazing. So I don't know, like that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
But if you're building a business, you should probably shy away.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're going to be spending too much engineering time troubleshooting that stuff. And
Exactly.
you haven't even validated the idea yet.
Exactly. That's your number one job is like getting people to like your crap and pay.
Yeah. The next thing that I thought was amazing that you pointed out was optimization is not so much going to come from Meteor per se, how you as a developer is handling data. You know, and you touched on it recently just now in this talk about publications and optimizing your publications and your subscriptions, published. But also how you store data, cron jobs that you have to do and having it finish in time. A lot of stuff is going to be around optimizing the use of data. And that's not so much connected directly per se to concurrent users, you know, depending on what you're doing. So that's the next step. So it's like Meteor is almost like you're getting into Meteor scale, like after you're already tackling two major things before that.
Yeah.
Which is that you got the right idea of what you're even trying to build. It's the first one. And the second one is your database is set up how it should be. Your cron jobs are running good and you're storing stuff correctly, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you get into the other stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I hear this and I'm like, oh, do I have to answer this again? Luckily, I just send them to you. So that's why you get 1,000 emails every week.
Go ask that guy. He knows. Yeah.
Anyway, great article. It was a quick read. I recommend everyone who is listening to the show that didn't read this article, like go jump on Josh's Unicorn blog and go read it.
Thinking of changing the name. I don't know. I haven't found a clever name yet, though.
YouTube commenters, can you please tell us what Josh's blog name should be?
Wow. Wow. Thanks, Ben.
They are the most creative commenters I know. So that's fine.
Well, so some people have asked. Well, I've had some questions about like you know, more business related stuff like freelancing. In particular, like people always wonder about contracts and stuff. So I thought I'd start talking more about like how to run a business where you write software.
That's a good point. And then you got the Space Dojo blog that's up on Medium.
Yeah.
Which is like more like an opportunity for more technical blogs.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was thinking like, I don't know, the art of business, software business or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you create tutorials and you have unique insight into like how to manage communities and stuff. That's all that stuff is not really technical, but
no, yeah.
is valuable nonetheless.
Cat wrangling.
Cat wrangling.
All right.
What do we got next on the list? Intro to Better Mantra.
Better mantra.
Yeah, that's what she's going to do.
Whenever my daughter talks about like yoga, she's 6, and like she'll be like, "Look, I'm doing yoga," and she like gets into like Indian style sitting, and like she does this.
Next time she does
Whenever I hear mantra, I think of that.
Yeah, be like, "Whoa, you're floating. Do you know that? Don't open up your eyes. Whatever you do, don't open your eyes. You're floating."
Nice. I'm gonna do that now.
I love being a dad. Like, man, my kids are so gullible.
My kid, no, like they just know now. They don't even believe me.
It's good. It's coming from me. It's coming from my oldest daughter's like that. Like, Dad, I've trusted you too long, and you've made a joke of my trust of you, so I don't believe you anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
Yeah. I feel like you're doing the dad thing right, if that's true. Like once they hit like 7 or 8 or 9, like if they don't believe you anymore, you're parenting right.
Yeah. Okay, so a better mantra. Gosh, I didn't even have a chance to really dive into the first mantra.
Already at 0.2, man.
I read it on it. Yeah, 0.2. Jeez Louise. Okay, so the big thing is it supports 1.3 modules now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that's the big improvement. And then No,
I don't think so.
Or is it just like a documented structure around?
Yeah, I think it's just a little more documented structure, like how they lay out the server and the client side.
Okay.
Was some of it, and then like showing off their testing as well was a big thing there.
Yeah, further down, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, but it's already built on 1.3. Like the whole idea of mantras because of 1.3.
Now that's what I thought, and so I wanted to have more time to dive into this, but I've just been a loser today, or this whole week. Like, if those following transmission know that, like, I've promised them shows, and I'm like 2 shows behind releasing them and everything.
It's tough, right?
I everything got bumped one day earlier in the week, and that just that screws me up.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was so much of a product of pattern, but I guess I am. So, anywho, I'm like a horrible person to present mantra 0.2 because I haven't tried it out that much. What I see in this article, I love. It's awesome. Have you had a moment to play with it at all, Josh?
Honestly, I haven't. I've just been playing with 1.3 kind of directly.
I think that's like more important.
Yeah.
Right now, to like understand that first.
Yeah. I've got a client project that I've put directly on 1.3. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. Except I lost like half a day yesterday just trying to get foundation.
You found out why it wasn't awesome, huh?
Yeah. It's terrible.
Oh, this is why I don't do production stuff with beta software. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not going into production this month, so I'm not too worried about it. That's kind of why I made the decision, but
I think you made the right decision. Like, and also this is the way that you learn. Like this is how we're also going to test 1.3 to make sure that it's ready for production.
Yeah. Like I feel like I already have like probably 25% more knowledge than most people using Meteor because I'm using 1.3.
I think it's a well-founded percentage.
I think it's maybe going to be a little painful when it comes out, in all honesty, 1.3. Yeah. But, way off topic.
Maybe it's not off topic like that. Well, mantra, we're talking about it is off topic.
A little bit.
It's all your fault. Totally. Since we're on that, I was going to say, the pain that you went through and a couple other people have been saying like 1.3 has been a little painful upgrade. And so Sashko and I are recording transmission a couple hours after this one today, and that's going to be one of the topics. Be like, yo, people, like what to expect, and also talking to the package managers and being like, hey, what you gotta do?
I think that's a big problem, right? Because certain things are changing, and like the foundation problem I have is that they're not pulling in files from node modules and handing those off through the build tool. So like you can't ask for SAS files So they never get passed to 4.7 SCSS or whatever to do the compilation for Zerb Foundation.
Yeah. Well, and that was a really interesting GitHub issue that you brought up too.
Yeah.
You brought to attention to a couple people.
Yeah, because it got pushed to, like, if you look at tangled in my cord, if you look at Benjamin's response, it's like, well, we'll get to this after 1.3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it'd probably be a lot better for the community if we got to it before.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I need to go contribute an actual idea in there too, though.
Yeah. I don't know how I'm feeling about CSS preprocessors anymore. I feel like there's going to be a change coming, and people are going to crucify me for saying that.
I could care less, right? Like, I don't handle that. I leave that to other people. I think your actual title at OKGrow is designer, right?
No, I'm a developer.
Oh, are you?
But Carl and I are the developer designers.
Okay.
Over there. So yeah. Your little hobby is like backend stuff.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like Modulus, Galaxy. I don't care about backend stuff. But microservices interest me, so I know as much as I need to about that. But anyway, other than that, it's like design. Like, I'm all about like animation, CSS, and design kind of stuff. So that does matter to me.
I just try to keep my designer happy. Like, she's working on the project. She wants foundation, so like I just leave it there for her.
Yeah, your designer is amazing, by the way. I'm not saying her name because I don't know if you want to give it out, because then all of a sudden she won't be your designer anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. She's on her own. She actually quit, and she's freelancing now. So
is she?
Here's the thing I'll say. She's in this Face Dojo Slack room. So if you're looking for a quality designer, she's in there.
Yes, her initials are AS.
Yeah.
Okay. You're still not going to give her a name? Okay.
No.
Props to the mystery designer. Initials AS. Ben loves you. You're awesome.
Maybe after she finishes my wife's new website, I'll say her name.
Okay, now you're just getting mean because you know she's listening to this podcast.
Maybe.
You're passing subliminal messages.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Way off topic. You should check it out. Like, I don't know what else to say other than that. Like, I should probably dive in a little bit deeper here myself. Like, he's putting out really interesting ideas. And it looks like React Composer, if you're not following, may end up being kind of like an official solution now that mixins are going away in React. So, and that's part of Mantra. So I think he's, if nothing else, he's driving the Meteor community forward and getting the latest and greatest React standards kind of working. Because at this point, I hate to say it, like, the React support came out for Meteor, and it used a mixin, and now mixins are dead. So it's like they're going to be gone soon. Meteor's React support was out of date when it came out. I don't know. JavaScript. I quit.
React. Yeah, exactly. I would have to say this is a React thing, okay?
Totally.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't throw it on MDG.
Well, no, actually, it's worse than that, right? This is an ES6 thing. Like, mixins didn't make it into ES6, so gone.
Yeah. Anywho, what I'm interested about with Mantra is, and maybe people can correct me, comment on this, or let me know, but working with it, what do you guys think? Is it speeding up and offering the opinionated framework that you really want on top of Meteor, or is it adding complexity? I want to get your feedback. I think Aeronauta wants to hear that too, and start getting some major feedback beyond just issues on the GitHub, but actually have community write-ups and stuff like that. So if you guys are using Mantra, like get it out there, get that news out there. And I know that once I start using it, I'm going to definitely use it for a project coming up sooner or later. I'm going to be documenting my usage of it too.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
I don't know. There's some things I want to say here, but I think I don't want to turn it into a bigger discussion. So we should probably move on.
You're a troublesome man.
All right. I'll just say the sentence. If you agree, we can just move on after I say it. Yeah? All right. So I think Mantra exists because getting pull requests accepted into Meteor is so hard. And I think that there's going to be some double work going on here, right? Like Mantra is interested in React Native, and now we have Martin working on React Native. So I don't know. Seems not cool, but just my 2 cents. thanks, Ben. All right.
I have a different opinion, but we can't get into it.
Yeah.
But I'm close to that. I think you're right on. I think it's a positive thing though. Not so much that it's growing of a negative situation. So
yeah. I think this is basically a fork of Meteor Guide and a fork of Meteor itself with some other libraries sprinkled in, and that's what we're looking at here.
That is what I'm curious about. Yeah. I was shocked when I was talking to Sashko, and he said that they want to support more opinionated frameworks like Mantra on top of Meteor. And if you guys listen to Transmission, my next question was, well, what is Guide going to support? Is Guide something separate, or is Guide going to support one of these frameworks? I remember asking that question. I forget what the answer was. So
yeah,
I can't answer for them again. But anywho, whatever's happening is good. The thing is, whenever we have the status quo right now, we want something else to come out to like make it status quo obsolete, you know? Mm-hmm. And I'm happy. Like Aeronoda is always pushing the envelope forward. And everything I hear from MDG is that, you know, they really, really appreciate Aeronoda's input and guidance in the community and what they're putting out there. And I think it's because he helps test and justify different iterations and changes and things.
Well, you know, to me, the key difference here, right, is that the idea of Mantra is coming from building Kadira versus the idea of Meteor is coming from building Meteor, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I think there's real learnings there, and that it's hard for people at Meteor to have this kind of view of Meteor because they're not really building. Like there's some guys now that are building an application, right, called Galaxy. Yeah.
And they're in the weeds. They're working with these large companies that are on Galaxy. You know, and they're in their
now, yeah, absolutely. And that's starting to happen, but
they have more experience than you and I do now. I would say MDG. Oh, they are on huge projects with huge issues.
Maybe.
I know okay. We'll put it there. One thing is Meteor isn't opinionated.
Whoa, that was loud. Sorry.
Someone does not like my opinion.
Yeah, you faded out. What'd you say?
Meteor is not super opinionated. And some people like that. Other people have said, no, it needs to be more opinionated. Mantra's coming out and has an opportunity to be super opinionated.
Exactly. And that's
I think the distinguishing factor is there. I don't think that they're competing, say, but there are some fuzzy areas, and you are correct. There are some areas of gray. Yeah. We don't have the answer for yet. But fundamentally, I think they're two different things.
Okay. Sort of.
Boom.
But here's the thing, right? Like this O.2 coming out and like him talking about directory structures and that kind of thing, like those are just opinions. They actually aren't even fully baked into, you know, you can make your directory structure however you want. They're just kind of guiding you with their docs and that kind of thing. So anyway, all right. Move on. I thought
you know what, Josh? You know what the problem is? We're not passionate enough.
I thought these topics would get easier because they got less votes as we went on, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
No.
All right. Meteor data. Wait. I want to get the title right. Using Meteor data in React with Meteor 1.3. And this is also from Aeronoda on the Kadira blog.
Yeah, but this is Aeronoda number 58.
Totally.
The other one was 73. Totally different people. Come on.
Is that what those numbers at the bottom mean? That's which Aeronoda actually wrote it?
That's right. Like 58 is kind of known for being funny.
Okay.
73 is the innovative one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I think 108 is like the asshole. I mean, whoops. Gotta beep that out.
Where'd it go? We got like clean lyrics listed in iTunes, and now Chris, you gotta edit that.
Yeah.
We're not marked clean on YouTube. I don't think YouTube itself is clean, so we'll just leave it in for YouTube.
Okay.
All right. So the I think I gave away the punchline already, right? Like mixins are dead. So
Yeah.
you know, the Meteor React mixin data mixin is kind of like, you know, going to be deprecated with the new version. Just because React will likely do away with mixins at some point. Yeah, so he kind of talks about the container pattern, and I've started to dive into this myself, right? So, like, how do you if you can't do a mixin, right? And so, like, I've personally been trying to think about how do I do flow router authentication, and kind of redirecting you to the login page, that kind of stuff, like with React, with Flow Router in Meteor 1.3. And the mixins seem like the obvious answer, and then you kind of go down that rabbit hole and you're like, oh wait, mixins are going away. And so then you like start to realize like you can build these higher order components, which looks interesting. And I think that's what he's kind of talking about here is like, you know, building React containers, which I think we've discussed before as well. But he's got a library now called React Composer, which will handle, it's like a little way for you to be able to do your meteor.subscribe call and then compose with Tracker and like basically, I don't know. Maybe it's less boilerplate than component will mount or something. I don't know. I'm kind of interested to play with it, but this is the thing. They're having a discussion in the GitHub comments in Meteor and kind of discussing. So there's another one called AutoVar from Q42, and they're kind of looking at the different options there. And you know, I think I don't know. It's really interesting. So
yeah, I wish I knew.
Are you with me today, dude?
I'm totally with you. I totally want to know this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Gosh, you know what I need to do? Hey, this is what we need to do. We need to interview Aranota. I need to know how to scale myself horizontally.
So
I think he has
podcast, like the business of doing more crap in a day.
Yes, seriously. This is a problem. Aranota has all the time to create this stuff, write about this stuff, publish this stuff, and then modify this stuff. I don't have enough time to fire his stuff up and try.
Yeah. Well, you know, you gotta like just bite the bullet and like he's pushing the envelope, right? He's trying Meteor 1.3 and you know, you start to realize some of the limitations and problems. Like, you know, if I cruise by a thread and I look at it, like I've been looking at 1.3 forum threads and stuff for a while, but until a couple of days ago when I actually started writing an app, I didn't even realize what half this crap meant.
Now Benjamin released some awesome stuff
Yeah.
about modules, and so I really enjoyed that. Understanding the difference between ECMAScript modules and CommonJS, that was like something I really appreciated. Anyway, I could talk about that because I read into that, but yeah, no. React Composer, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Are you working on any?
Am I fired now?
Yeah, you're fired. No, are you working on any React projects right now? Or not really?
I am not.
Okay.
I personally am not. So there are some side projects. I got two personal projects I'm working on, and then we rewrote okgrow.com into React before, but
you weren't really on that.
We used the mixin. No.
But
right now I got bumped onto another big project, and we're using Blaze. We're still using Blaze.
Interesting.
It's using Cluster, so I get to dive into that more. So that's fun.
Nice. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. So speaking of, aren't you guys like hiring someone? Like you need some temp help, right? Or did you find someone?
Oh, I think we're good there. Shout out to the community. So like Paul and I put out a shout out for some freelancers. The issue was we have very passionate clients and they don't like it when we have to move on to other projects because they're like, hey, we want you all to ourselves.
Yeah.
So, okay, Grow is growing. Like we're doing the right thing, man. We found our niche and things are growing. Anyway, we're not sure yet, though. We're pretty conservative if we want to add another team member or not. We've had a record January.
Yeah, but you guys were looking for like a temp.
Yeah, so we're looking for a temp. So it's the first thing. So anyway, props to the community. Like I think like within 3 hours, we had a handful of people.
Where'd you post it? Just the Space Dojo Slack room or somewhere else too?
Space Dojo, Twitter, and then my boy Wes Boss has a Slack room as well.
Nice.
And I don't know where Paul posted it, but that was what
he did it in the Space Dojo Slack room.
Yeah. Yeah. So good stuff. Okay, Grow's rocking, man.
Nice.
We got too much work.
All right. So, why doesn't React have templates, Ben?
I don't know. Why not? No, but seriously. So Dan, who made Redux and Sasha, Discover Meteor, they kind of went back and forth on Twitter about like React templates and all that stuff. And Dan brought up some good points. I wish I knew off the top of my head, but Dan's big thing was like testing and iterating over them easier.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, yeah, whatever. That's something to figure out. But anyway, so Sasha really took it further and like wrote a blog post off of that, and that was pretty amazing.
He actually took it further than that. He created a React templating repo of some sort.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Templates, my own functional stateless component-based React template solution.
Yeah, that's the one.
10 times.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It was interesting, right? And so he kind of wrote it and then went back and forth. But, the thing to me, and
let's talk about JS templates first, though.
I wonder because, the argument I hear is that designers, JSX is harder for designers to get. But I just don't know that I buy that.
I think if you're a really good designer, you're in JavaScript every day.
Exactly. I feel like if you're even just a decent designer, you likely play around with jQuery or something, right? Like you've come from somewhere. You've likely added animations or something, isotopes or something, masonry.
Yeah, I could see where that's different because like jQuery, you're modifying the DOM directly, and then you just refer to some plugins, documentation, and you're up to go. You're going really fast.
But you're like, there's like this side learning that happens. Like you're picking up a little bit of JavaScript knowledge. Like you're starting to understand what the syntax looks like. Like up until a couple of weeks ago, I hadn't written any React code, but like I've looked at enough code that I start to understand what a component looks like and how it works, even before I wrote any. And I never even sat down and looked at the docs. Like I just think that starts to happen.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, like if a designer, like, I don't know very many designers that just stick to straight HTML, I guess, would be my point. And like if they're able to go into Blaze, like the JavaScript file side of Blaze and write a helper, why can't they use JSX?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and JSX isn't the only thing that you can use. Like there's other things out there.
Yeah. And so a lot of what the back and forth with Dan and Sasha ended up with is that it's not really helpful, because one of the great things about having your code right in there with your HTML is that like you get like code completion from your editor, linting becomes better, all kinds of different benefits that you get by kind of writing all that together in one file. And separating that out, you lose a lot of that benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Interesting experiment.
It is interesting. And I think it's something that needs to be done, because like we talked about how React moves HTML into JavaScript, and that is intimidating. Like you're kind of getting rid of HTML and things that are just like in your lizard brain. It's like anchored in, like things like class, like reserved words in JavaScript that also is duplicated in HTML. You know, or simple things like looping through data. You know, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, wait a minute here. I need to know JavaScript to do this, because like before, like my templating language like just did it for me. You know, I just throw in an each or something like that. Or
I mean, is a map call all that different from each?
Well, that's the thing. So I think that is just intimidating from a designer standpoint. But again, I'm with you. I'm just trying to like be apathetic to them. Like, what do? You just spend 30 minutes, you learn what map is. Great, now you got it.
Yeah. So I didn't watch the video, but I did read the post, and I think like I love the TLDW. Like, wait a minute, what's that? Oh, too long didn't write. But then he gives a link to a bunch of resources that kind of outlines the way that React is moving. And actually, some of this I hadn't even read till he posted this. So just want to say thank you to Sasha, because it certainly expanded my understanding of where React is headed, and I'm feeling a lot better about it myself. Mm-hmm. Despite my JavaScript fatigue now that I'm writing React components.
Yes. Anyway, it's a meaningful discussion.
Yes.
And I think the takeaway from this is that there's not a happy path for designers to move into React. Like where is that article? You know, where is everything outlined where like, okay, this is where I need to go to learn, and now I'm going to be a productive designer using React.
So I will say the docs maybe feel a little dense, like just starting with the React docs. I could see where that might be a little intimidating. You know, I'm curious now. I've got their docs up. They've got tips. Let me click here. I didn't really.
Sasha wants to just make an abstraction of JSX to make it simpler for people to be onboarded, and I think that's gonna make the adoption of React even more powerful.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I don't really think there should be any opinions in there. Like I think it's just a necessary path for the evolution of React. Boom. That's Ben's knowledge spilt for you. Anywho, I really like Sasha. I'm glad he's part of our community, and he's like relevant past Meteor. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I love that he's extending into the React community. So I'm also trying to do as Aeronoda is doing. And, you know, I saw a blog post too. We'll talk about it next week. Hopefully. I'm going to put it up on Creator later. See if we can get it upvoted a bunch. We'll keep trying this experiment. Let us know what you think. Like, we'll just pick the top upvoted topics from Creator. No cherry picking.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get to talk about it next week.
If a spam post gets top rated, we'll talk about it.
We'll discuss. I mean, you know, now I've killed off the spam, so that's less of an issue now. But
I know that Josh wants breast augmentation.
Well, a lot of it was about Star Wars when we were getting the spam. So we'll just have a spoiler-filled episode about Star Wars, much to Ben's chagrin.
I haven't seen it still.
You and like 10 other people on the planet.
That's how busy I've been. Craziness. I haven't been able to see Star Wars. I'm kind of sad.
It's not a matter of busyness. It's just a matter of priorities, Ben.
Well, now it has to rank up against Deadpool. Like, what do I see next?
Ooh, well, see, I took care of it early, so now I can just go see Deadpool.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what happens with procrastinators.
You know,
their life sucks.
I haven't had a beer since like before Christmas, and so this is like, it's getting interesting, right? Like I really, really enjoy beer, and the funny thing is I can't drink beer, but
all of a sudden it's really interesting. My driving has gotten better. I stopped slurring.
I stopped hitting people on the side of the road.
I don't sleep as good anymore. I don't know what's happened before. Maybe passing out.
But next week, at the conclusion of CreatorConf, I'm going to the Cincinnati Beer Festival. I'm pretty excited about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. You should be. What about you? You doing anything interesting, Ben?
Over the weekend?
Yeah, whatever. Working on anything interesting, doing anything
catching up on work.
Yeah.
No, nothing interesting. Actually, something super interesting. My wife and I are going to be planning on doing the John Muir Trail up on the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, what is it, like 500 miles or something like that? It's like a 2-3 week trip.
Really? You're going to like hike 500 miles? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's an awesome trail. And so we're not going to do it this year, but we're going to be doing it next year. But it takes a while to get to train up for this and then get the equipment that you need and everything. So
I bet. Yeah. What do you just like camp along the way then?
You do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do like 10 to 20 miles, sometimes 15 miles a day, and then set up camp and then out the next day.
That's courageous, sir.
It is gorgeous. I mean, the documentary's got us hooked. So,
which documentary?
There's a handful of them. You just get to look up John Muir Trail.
All right. Yeah. It's on Netflix.
There is. There's. I think there's 2 on Netflix.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. Yep. Anywho, so we're planning for that. So that means like a lot of like running and planning trips, buying expensive,
carrying crap on your back.
Yeah. See, all of a sudden we're giving our kids more piggyback rides. All of a sudden, that's all I'm saying.
Hey kids, hop on. We're doing
some training.
Store
back.
Nice.
All right,
man.
Cool.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, you can support Crater, the Crater Podcast, Space Dojo Show. It's still at Patreon. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe someday I'll get around to changing it. But patreon.com/Meteor Club. Should at least change the name to Space Dojo. I don't know. See if I can do that. And $10 a month will get you into the Slack chat. Chat. And I think it's an awesome place.
It is.
I'm also thinking about including it as part of my training package now too. So we'll see how that works.
You should.
Yeah.
Everyone who takes your training, they're passionate, man. They love what you do. So, and that's what you want to fill the Slack chat room up with.
Yeah. So, and then as always, Modulus is a sponsor, modulus.io. Check them out. I still think maybe the best hosting platform. I don't know.
It's a go-to for me.
We need like a side-by-side comparison with all the updated options. Maybe I'll get around to that. Who knows? Yeah.
I have a Do account, but I haven't set up a Droplet just yet because you know why? Modulus makes it so easy for me. So.
Yeah, I'll be lame and just say like Crater's on DigitalOcean just because like I moved it there and I have some credit there. So like I haven't moved it off yet. Yeah.
But anywho.
Yep.
So Josh will get the sponsorship and I'll be the one that's promoting it. How about that? That's a partnership right there.
There you go.
Yeah. No, we love Modulus.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week. This video has been a Meteor Club production. You can find out more information about Meteor Club and join the mailing list by clicking on the Meteor Club button below. If you enjoyed this video, you can also hit the subscribe button below and get more content like this. Thanks for watching.